She would brush him off, telling him not to worry. But worry was all Ufot could do. He watched helplessly as their savings dwindled and their debts piled up. All the while, Uduak's spending habits spiraled out of control. And as if that wasn't enough, Ufot also began to notice Uduak's cruel characteristic. She would belittle him in the front of their friends, mock his dreams and aspirations for the future, and withhold affection as punishment for the smallest perceived insult. But through it all, Ufot remained hopeful. He believed that if he just loved Uduak enough, she would change. He held on to the idea that their marriage could still be saved, despite all the warning signs pointing to the contrary. But little did Ufot know that he was in for even a rougher ride. For Uduak's true intentions were far more frightening than he could ever have imagined. And as the days turned into months, Ufot would come to learn that sometimes love is not enough to save a marriage from the grip of deceit and manipulation. As time passed, Ufot began to lose hope in their marriage. And now, it was being replaced by a troubling sense of fear. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong with his marriage, but he didn't know how to fix it. One day, Ufot came home early from work, hoping to surprise Uduak with a romantic dinner. But what he found when he walked through the door shattered his heart into a million pieces. There, in the living room, sat Uduak, laughing and flirting with another man. Ufot's blood ran cold as he watched them together, his mind struggling to process what he was seeing. "Uduak, what's going on?" Ufot asked, his voice trembling with disbelief. Uduak turned to him, her eyes cold and calculating. "Oh, Ufot, you're home early," she said, her tone dripping with fake innocence. "This is just a friend of mine. We are just catching up." But Ufot knew better. He could see the truth written in the other man's eyes, in the way Uduak leaned into him with a familiarity that made Ufot's stomach to churn. Without a word, Ufot turned and walked out of the house, his heart heavy with grief and betrayal. He couldn't believe that the woman he had loved and trusted could do something so wicked. For days, Ufot wandered the streets of Calabar, lost in a cloud of pain and confusion. He couldn't understand how he had been so blind, how he had let himself fall for Uduak's lies. But as he wandered, he began to see things more clearly. He realized that Uduak had never truly loved him. She had seen him as nothing more than a means to an end, a way to satisfy her own desires at his expense. And with that realization came a sense of freedom. Ufot knew that he deserved better than Uduak's deceit and manipulation. He deserved a love that was honest and true, a love that would lift him up instead of tearing him down. And so, with a newfound sense of determination, Ufot made the hardest decision of his life. He would leave Uduak behind and start anew, leaving behind the pain and heartache of their failed marriage. But little did Ufot know that the hardest part was yet to come. For Uduak would never let him go so easily. She had plans for Ufot, plans that would ensure he never escaped her grip again. As the sun set over Calabar, Ufot prepared himself for the battle that lay ahead. He knew that the road ahead would be so long and difficult, but he was ready to face it head on. For he was Ufot, and he would not be defeated by the likes of Uduak. With resolve unfolded in his heart, Ufot returned home to confront Uduak. He knew it wouldn't be easy, but he was prepared to face whatever came his way. As he stepped into their house, Ufot found Uduak lounging on the couch, a fake smile playing on her lips. She looked up to him, her eyes gleaming with malice. "Well, well, well, look who decided to come crawling back," Uduak said, her voice dripping with disdain. But Ufot didn't recoil. He stood tall, his gaze resolute. "I'm not here to play your games anymore, Uduak," he said, his voice steady. "I know the truth now, and I won't let you manipulate me any longer." Uduak's fake smile faltered, replaced by a look of pure rage. "How dare you speak to me like that?" she shouted, springing to her feet. "You think you can just saunter in here and accuse me? You're nothing without me, Ufot, nothing." But Ufot didn't back down. He had spent too long under Uduak's thumb, too long allowing her to control his life. He refused to let her hold power over him any longer. With the strength he didn't know he possessed, Ufot stood his ground. He told Uduak that he was leaving her and that he deserved better than her lies and deceit. But Uduak wasn't about to let him go without a fight. She hurled insults and accusations at him, trying to break his spirit and force him to stay. But Ufot remained steadfast, his determination unshaken. He gathered his belongings and walked out the door, leaving Uduak behind in a cloud of anger and resentment. As he stepped out into the cool night air, Ufot felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He was free. Free from Uduak's toxic influence. Free to forge his own path in life. But little did he know that the battle was far from over. For Uduak would stop at nothing to get her revenge, to ensure that Ufot paid dearly for daring to stand against her. And as Ufot walked away from his old life, he knew that the road ahead would be difficult. But he also knew that he was strong enough to face whatever challenges lay in his path. For he was Ufot and he would not be defeated. If you enjoyed this story, please do well to subscribe and turn on the notification bell icon so that you can get notified when I post another one of these awesome stories. And don't forget to share with your friends and loved ones. I appreciate your company here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.